India, the land of sages, warriors, and empires. But what if I told you there once existed an empire so vast, so powerful, that it stretched from the borders of present-day Afghanistan to the edges of Bengal, all ruled by a single throne? Today, we're diving into the entire history of the Maurya Empire, one of the greatest empires not just in Indian history, but in world history. From Chanakya's cunning strategy to Ashoka's transformation from a ruthless conqueror to a messenger of peace, this is the story of ambition, war, philosophy, and redemption. Our story begins around 322 BCE, in a time when northern India was fragmented into smaller kingdoms after Alexander the Great's exit. But behind the scenes, a silent revolution was brewing. Chanakya, also known as Kautilya, was furious. He had been insulted by the king of the Nanda dynasty. But instead of seeking personal revenge, he decided to burn down an empire and build a new one. He found a young boy named Chandragupta, raised in humble surroundings, but with the fire of a leader. With Chanakya's mind and Chandragupta's courage, the two launched a campaign that overthrew the Nandas, and thus the Maurya Empire was born. Imagine this: a single kingdom now had the intelligence of a master economist and the bravery of a born leader, a deadly combination. Chandragupta Maurya didn't just stop at Magadha. With Chanakya as his prime minister, he began conquering the fragmented kingdoms of northern India. When Alexander the Great's general Seleucus Nicator tried to invade Indian territories, Chandragupta didn't flinch. Instead, he defeated Seleucus and in return received vast lands, parts of present-day Afghanistan and Baluchistan, in exchange for 500 war elephants. Elephants for empires. This wasn't just war, it was statecraft at its finest. The Mauryan administration became a model of governance, described in great detail in the Arthashastra, one of the oldest treatises on politics and economics in the world. Chandragupta ruled from Pataliputra, a capital city so advanced that it was compared to Rome and Babylon. After Chandragupta abdicated the throne to become a Jain monk, a move that shows just how spiritual India's rulers could be, his son Bindusara took over. Though less famous, Bindusara was a skilled ruler. The empire expanded further south, reaching almost the entire Indian subcontinent, except the deep south. Records even mention Bindusara by name, calling him Amitrochates, the destroyer of enemies. But the stage was being set for someone far more legendary. Enter Ashoka. Ashoka wasn't born a saint. In fact, legends say he was a ruthless prince, once known as Chandrashoka, Ashoka the Cruel. When he finally secured the throne, his hunger for power led him to wage the Kalinga War, one of the bloodiest battles in Indian history. Over 100,000 people died. The rivers ran red. But what happened next was unheard of. Standing on the battlefield of victory, surrounded by corpses, Ashoka didn't feel pride. He felt regret. And that's when the conqueror became a monk king. Ashoka embraced Buddhism and made it the heart of his empire. He banned unnecessary violence, promoted compassion, and sent Buddhist missionaries to Sri Lanka, Central Asia, and even Greece. His inscriptions, the famous Ashokan edicts, carved on pillars and rocks, still survive today, echoing his message of peace through the ages. Under Ashoka, the Maurya Empire reached its peak, not just in size, but in soul. Think about this. At a time when most rulers glorified war, Ashoka publicly denounced it. He built hospitals for animals, planted trees along highways, and promoted religious tolerance. His administration had spies, revenue officers, and strict justice, but also social welfare. The Mauryan Empire was like a giant clockwork system, thousands of moving parts, yet running smoothly. No wonder historians consider this the first pan-Indian empire. After Ashoka's death around 232 BCE, the empire began to crumble. His successors lacked his vision and strength. Provinces broke away, invasions resumed, and eventually, by 185 BCE, the last Mauryan king, Brihadratha, was assassinated by his own general, Pushyamitra Shunga, who started a new dynasty. The once mighty Mauryan Empire that ruled nearly the entire Indian subcontinent faded into history. But empires aren't remembered just for their land. The Mauryas left behind something far greater: ideas. Chanakya's Arthashastra is still studied in economics and political science. Ashoka's pillars inspired India's national emblem, the lion capital of Sarnath. Their model of unified governance, infrastructure, and diplomacy laid the foundation for future Indian kingdoms and inspired leaders for centuries. So what can we learn from the Maurya Empire? That greatness isn't just about conquest. It's about transformation. From a warrior king to a monk, from revenge to wisdom, the Mauryas gave us a mirror to see the full spectrum of human ambition and redemption. This was the entire history of the Maurya Empire. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.